NBA opening night live highlights, reactions and takeaways. The Celtics were led by Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, who scored 35 points each in the win. Out west, the defending champion Golden State Warriors received their rings after winning their fourth title in the past 8 seasons. Looking to spoil the celebration will be the Los Angeles Lakers and LeBron James, who begins the season needing 1,326 points to pass Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as the NBA's career scoring leader. We'll have complete coverage from Boston and San Francisco with highlights, takeaways and the moments that matter all night long. Los Angeles Lakers at Golden State Warriors. The Warriors enter the season looking to become the NBA's first back-to-back champion since. Now it's Andrew Wiggins who is teaming with Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson and Draymond Green, and Wiggins just signed a contract extension that will keep him with the Warriors through the 2026-27. While the Warriors were the last team standing last season, the Lakers failed to even make the postseason for the second time in 4 years with LeBron James on the roster. James enters this season not only trying to return to the playoffs, but looking to break the NBA's all-time points record. He'll once again partner with Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook, the latter of whom spent the entire offseason in trade rumors and came off the bench in his final preseason appearance, something he hasn't done in a regular season game since his rookie season. Drake's big rings blared from the speakers as their 7th championship banner, their 4th in the past 8 years, was raised. Warriors big man James Wiseman, who hasn't played a regular season game since April 10, 2021, told ESPN before Tuesday's game that he was excited for ring night, but also had butterflies. When asked if it was for ring night or because it was the first season opener he would be playing in since his rookie year in 2020, Wiseman said it was a little bit of both. "We think of the Warriors winning 4 rings in the Steph Curry era, but the franchise has leaned into their total titles and new signage around the Chase Center." Boston Celtics 126, Philadelphia 76ers 117. Through 3 quarters, Al Horford is plus 12 in 18 minutes played even though he's only 1 for 4 from the field for 3 points. While Marcus Smart was the NBA's Defensive Player of the Year last season, it was Horford, 3rd in NBA, and Robert Williams III, 11th, who had the highest defensive real plus-minus, DRPM, scores on the team. The Celtics' defense is built inside out, and with Williams sidelined, Horford is necessary at defensive anchor. When Horford was called for his second foul on a Harden three-pointer in the first quarter, it touched off a 9-0 run for the previously cold 76ers. Early in the second quarter, with Horford back in the game, the Celtics went on an 8-0 run to retake the lead. Through 3 quarters, the Celtics hold a commanding 22-2 edge in fast break points. Boston has made an effort to get out and run at every opportunity, and has taken full advantage of James Harden's spotty effort in transition defense to strike early and often in this game. The Celtics have done so tonight, and that's why they enter the fourth quarter with a 10-point lead. During a break in action early in the third quarter, the Celtics showed the late Bill Russell's wife, Janine Russell, on the Jumbotron here inside TD Garden. The Celtics gave Russell a stirring tribute before the game, which included an eloquent speech by star Jaylen Brown. Boston's Marcus Smart gets tangled up with Philly's Joel Embiid, who hooked his arm and drew a foul. Eventually, after a long review led by crew chief and veteran official James Capers, the only penalties assessed on the play were to Smart, both a personal and technical foul. Joel Embiid causing first-half problems for Boston. The Celtics and 76ers are tied at 63 at halftime, following a rollicking opening 24 minutes that saw both teams make big runs. Stars on both teams show out and interesting subplots from a minutiae standpoint on both sides. James Harden had 22 points, 3 rebounds and 4 assists, but his biggest highlight came in the form of a horrendous sequence that saw him both shake reigning NBA Defensive Player of the Year Marcus Smart, only to give a good long shimmy, and airball the subsequent three-pointer. Harden then allowed Jason Tatum to coast by him for a layup on the following possession, and Embiid then committed his third foul at the other end. Embiid went 3 for 7 from the field, but his immense presence inside caused problems for Boston. Speaking of Celtics bigs, Noah Vonleh played the 4th most minutes on the team, behind only Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Smart. And, not surprisingly, it was Tatum and Brown leading the way for Boston, as the dynamic forward tandem for the Celtics combined for 34 points on 12 for 23 shooting. In the second quarter, Malcolm Brogdon has given Celtics fans a glimpse of what he can provide this team, and what the Celtics lacked in last year's playoffs. Brogdon has scored 6 quick points and picked up a nifty assist to Noah Vonleh inside, flashing the kind of scoring punch and creation off the bench that Boston never had during its run to the 2022 NBA Finals. For all of the understandable focus on Stephen Curry's heroics in that series, Boston lost because its offense couldn't get it done against Golden State's defense. Having another proven player like Brogdon off the bench is not only something that could benefit the Celtics during what they hope is a deep playoff run next spring, but it's a role that could make Brogdon a favorite to win this year's NBA Sixth Man of the Year award. Strong first quarter for Harden, a good sign. Philadelphia's James Harden has 16 points at the end of the first quarter. He has already drawn 3 3-point shooting fouls, including a completed 4-point play, and also became the first player in the NBA to shoot the free throw for the new take foul rule at the 6:13 mark of the first quarter. Harden was counted out by many after an uncharacteristically poor set of performances following his trade to the 76ers last season. His performance so far Tuesday falls in line with my preseason expectations that Harden is poised for a big season. One of the interesting subplots of the 76ers preseason was who would get the backup center minutes behind superstar Joel Embiid, with both veteran Montrezl Harrell and emerging youngster Paul Reed both getting shots at him. Tuesday night, it was Harrell who got the call midway through the first quarter, as he slid into a familiar partnership from the opening years of his career, running pick and rolls with James Harden. This was what was anticipated when Harrell was signed, with he and Harden expected to run pick and rolls against backup units. But Reed got enough playing time during the preseason over Harrell to at least make it a question of which one would play, and 76ers coach Doc Rivers said on multiple occasions both players would get their chances. At least in the short term, it looks like Harden is going to get his chances to eat offensively, while emerging star guard Tyrese Maxey will partner with Embiid. Vonleh's minutes speaks to Celtics situation. With Robert Williams sidelined for the next few months, it's going to take some creative work from the Celtics to navigate life without one of the best defensive big men in the NBA. And, in the first 5 minutes of the 2022-23 NBA season, we have seen the Celtics begin to do just that. First came the decision to start Derek White, opting to go with a small lineup with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum at the two forward spots as opposed to opting to play a bigger option alongside Al Horford. Part of the reason why interim coach Joe Mazzulla, in his first game on the sidelines for the Celtics, has gone with that lineup throughout the preseason, came along when the first player off the bench for the Celtics in Tuesday night's game against the 76ers was journeyman big man Noah Vonleh. Vonleh, the 9th pick in the 2014 draft, is playing for his 8th team in 8 NBA seasons, after spending all of last season playing for the Shanghai Sharks of the Chinese Basketball Association. While he had a strong training camp, the fact Vonleh is playing early minutes for the Celtics is both a sign of how little frontcourt depth Boston has, as well as at least a partial indictment of the chances that former All-Star big man Blake Griffin is going to make any kind of meaningful impact on Boston's roster moving forward. Jason Tatum was ready for the 2022-23 season to begin. He scored 7 of the Celtics' first 9 points, including this 3-pointer from the corner. Celtics honor Bill Russell. More on the Celtics' Russell-inspired city jerseys.